In this video, I wanted to share an important piece of information with you, which many students who are studying in Germany right now might not be aware of. And that is something which is also going to be very beneficial for the students and professionals who are planning to come to Germany in the longer run. So any student who is watching this, any parent, make sure that you can share this video afterwards, because the information that I'm going to cover in this video is going to be very important and highly relevant. This is something that I've also confirmed already with one of my LinkedIn networks, and he also sent me relevant links for this so that I can also show it to you directly, and we can first go to the screen and talk about the things that changed. Here I want to talk about two things. The first thing is that now in Germany you no longer need to actually finish your studies to start a full-time job. And the second thing is that now the German government no longer checks for the priorities. That is, if there would be somebody who's a German national who can be filled up for the job, or somebody who is an EU national who could get the job. So these kind of priorities have also gone away. So how exactly these things work, that is something I'm going to now share with you from the screen. There are two main websites that we will take a look at, which is first of all, Make It in Germany. So this is from the federal government of Germany, and this article is about information on Skilled Immigration Act. Now, what is Skilled Immigration Act? This act came into force on March 1st, 2020, and it facilitates the entry and residence of qualified skilled workers from countries outside the EU to Germany. As I was talking about in my previous video, that Germany is running out of workers, I also shared an article from 2019, which was from Zeit Online, and there it said that they need 260,000 new workers every single year in Germany, so that they can still keep everything up. Now it has risen to 400,000 because unfortunately the way Germany handled the refugee crisis, it just really added onto the burden, and they need more people in more designated places. And that is what the chief of the Federal Employment Agency said in the article that I shared with you in the previous video. So that's something very interesting, and this is the reason you see that this is actually coming into full force. When it was implemented in March, many smaller cities and so on didn't know about this. But for example, bigger cities, for example Frankfurt, on their own government website, you can see here, they already have a complete detailed page about this, which is called the Fachkräfteeinwanderungsgesetz. So you can see it in the URL too. So they then go ahead and talk about definition of skilled workers, and this pretty much says the people who have university degree. You can also see it easier here. So people with a higher education degree, which is comparable to a higher education degree in Germany, and persons who have either completed qualified vocational trainings in Germany, for which a training period of at least 2 years is generally required, are persons who have acquired a vocational qualification abroad which has been recognized as equivalent to German qualified vocational trainings. Shorter foreign vocational trainings may be considered equivalent to qualified vocational training in Germany if the training does not differ substantially, or if these differences have been compensated for. Now I know for most of the people who are watching this video, the second category applies because it's mostly students. So here you will go down and see something even further interesting. So take a look at this. It says improved possibilities for foreign students in Germany to change their residence status. Foreign students already have the possibility to switch to other types of residence permits even before they complete their studies. For example, rather than continuing their studies, they can begin vocational training and receive a residence permit to attend a vocational training course. The Skilled Immigration Act expands these possibilities to change status under certain preconditions and following considerations by the Federal Employment Agency. It is possible to accept a job offer as a qualified professional whilst a person is still studying or receiving vocational training. This entails a switch to residence permit to work in a qualified occupation. Now, this is a massive difference than what it used to be before, because previously you were not allowed to quit your studies in the middle. You had to finish it, and then only afterwards you can take up a job offer. But now, even if you're doing your master's or something, and you see that you have already applied to different kind of companies, and the previous work experience you have and the bachelor's you have, that combined is sufficient for you to apply for that job and get an offer letter or something. Once you have the offer letter, then you can also quit your master's in the middle and then you can start doing your full-time job. Now, knowing about this information is very important because at least you should know that you have more options available to you, and something that you should not just put it under the rug because it just doesn't really make sense. What if you're starting your masters or something, you're okay, the money crunch and everything, you don't really feel that happy about it, and then afterwards, okay, let me look for a job or something. And of course, we also help you with that. We have the complete course of finding jobs in Germany on Big Academy. So if you're interested in finding jobs from the very starting itself, then I would also recommend you to join in that course, because that lays out all of the details for how the German job market works and how you can start looking for jobs from your first semester in Germany itself. So that is something that you can also take a look at. Now, when you go to the Frankfurt Cities page, you can see written here, entry into the labor market is made easier. The qualified specialist must have an employment contract or a specific job offer and a qualification recognized in Germany. The priority check by Federal Employment Agency, Bundesagentur für Arbeit, does not apply in most cases. This means that it is no longer necessary to check whether applicants from Germany or the EU are available for the specific job. However, the Federal Employment Agency continues to check the working conditions. So this is very important, because not that you start offering immigrant workers very less salaries and so on, so that the immigrant workers are not exploited with extra less salaries or something like that. And this is how they also make sure that the companies are not able to get employees for a very cheap price. Now again, the salaries differ from profession to profession. I've seen professions in Germany, and again Alina's family, there's so many people working there. So sometimes you finish your vocational training, and then when you start your job, sometimes you start earning as little as 2,100 euros per month. And this is also the case in some other, let's say, academic degrees too, which are, let's say, not so mainstream. So this is something you have to keep in mind. But for most of the people who are engineers or who are into business administration and management, the salaries are generally pretty nice. So something that you generally do not have to worry about. So what do I want you to take from this video? The first thing is that you have more options now. When you come to Germany, you don't have to go and finish your masters. You can also pick up the job in the middle, a full-time employment. If it's offering a decent salary, you can already start working, which is very interesting, because many universities also give you the option that, okay, you have done some semesters and then afterwards you can come back to the university and you can finish the rest of the semesters. There are provisions like that in every single university, and something that you need to talk to your university about. The second option is that now the priority checks that many people used to spread so much misinformation about, that in Germany foreigners don't get jobs or something because they first give it to Germans, first give it to EU people and so on. That is no longer correct, and it has not been correct since 1st March 2020. But the information about this and the more practical implications, where I have been able to talk to different kind of people and they were able to get a job afterwards, that is something that we are seeing right now, which is very nice to see, because always it takes some time from the bill to actually pass and the things to actually start picking up. And the interview with the person who actually got a job like this and was able to quit his masters in the middle, I'm going to also put very soon in our new podcast, Jobs in Germany, where you can see different kind of people who are already working in Germany, talk about their experience of working in that company, how were they able to get a job, so that it is easier for you to find a job in Germany. We are trying a lot of things. I'm personally taking out a lot of time every single day so that I can make these videos and record these interviews, so that we are the ones who provide you the best information about working and studying in Germany. I've also linked a lot of free resources that you can download or you can watch directly in the description. So do not forget to take a look at that. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.